Hi, I'm Jonathan and I'm going to show you how I use my smartphone to send invoices for my business. So first I have to open the app, which is called Timesheeter. Next I'll start a project. Let's say this project is working for you. For you. Done. The hourly rate will say $100 per hour. Done. Done. Back to the main menu. I can now start the time clock. I click time clock and I click the time clock at the top and I choose for you. Now I decide what I'm doing. So I am making a video tutorial. Next. I push start. And there I am starting. So now you're paying me. And I'm getting paid. And everything's good. Let's say I want to take a break. I push that. I can take a break. It rounds up to the nearest minute. So for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to take an entire minute break or work for an entire minute. Once I'm done, I push stop. Now it's going to ask me to review everything. So let's say I actually worked for 1 hour. And I also took a 15-minute break. See how it automatically does some calculations? It put hours worked down to 45. So if I actually did work for an hour, then I'll change that 1 hour. Okay, done. And done. And let's say there was an expense. Click on expenses and add a new one. Expense type. Let's say I hired some help. I had a second person. And let's say they got $100 as well. Done. One person, so I'll put 1. And the project was for you, which is down here at the bottom. Oops. Okay, maybe a note was they were invisible. That helper that I had. Done. Now we'll go back to the main menu, and in the overview we'll see the time that I did, and in the expenses we'll see the expense. Now to get those onto the computer, onto a spreadsheet, and make it into an invoice, I have to export that. Let's say I want to do all of my invoices at once, so I'm going to export all of the projects. I click on select all, and I choose to export all of the dates. So I go period, custom, all, done. I'm going to export that to email. I'm going to export all of the time entries. And I click export. So that's going to send me an email. I also want to export the expenses because I'm going to bill for those as well. That's also going to send me an email. Okay, now we go to the computer and I'll show you the next steps. Alright, let's see how I take the email that I sent myself and turn it into an invoice. First thing I have to do is download the attachments that are in the email. There they are. Next thing I'm going to do is open up the invoice spreadsheet and import those. I have to choose the time entries or the expenses sheet. We'll start with time entries. Go back to our downloads and find that time entries. We're going to open that with LibreOffice Calc and we're going to import it. Now this field, which is a date, has to be explicitly made to reflect month, day, year. Then we can click OK. So these are all of the time entries that were sent by email. I don't want all of them. I only want the new ones. So I'm going to go back to my invoice spreadsheet. I'm going to see what are the last time entries. December 11th, Edith and Victor. Or November 11th. Or November 21st. So now I go back to the download. Look for Edith and Victor on November 21st. Here. So everything below that is what I want to import. Select it, copy it. I'm going to go back to my invoice. Click here. I'm going to edit, paste special. I don't want to paste the formatting, just the text, numbers, dates, and times. Now you'll see this happens where for some reason with the import it adds this little character. You don't want that. Once that character is gone, it recognizes it as a number, but until then it doesn't. So a fast way of getting rid of that is to select them all, do edit, find and replace. You have to select regular expressions and then search for dot plus and replace all. Oops, should be dot plus and replace all. There we go. Close that, close that. Now it recognizes them all as numbers. Okay, next we're going to import the expenses. Go down to the bottom here. We'll go to our download of expenses. Open that up. Again, we have a date column. Has to be explicitly month, day, year. Okay. Now we're going to see which are the new ones. So we'll go back to the invoices. The last one is Edith and Victor. And that was on September 19th. Go back to the invoice sheet. Oh no, back to our downloaded expenses sheet. Edith and Victor on September 19th. So these are the new ones. I'm going to copy those. And then I'm going to paste those into the invoice spreadsheet. Okay. Now I'm going to go to this sheet and right click somewhere in there and go to refresh. This puts them all together onto one sheet. Then I can click on this last sheet, select, and this is where I start to create my invoice. So you can see I've got some numbers here already. I'll do Let's say I'm going to make an invoice for Lee Lasford. I have to put numbers consecutively next to each one. Like that. Then when I go back to the invoice page, you can see those numbers are corresponding to these numbers. They all show up. It shows a balance due, and it also shows the client's name. And it's pulling this information from this sheet. So over here you can see the client name, Lee Luxford. Now, I think that it pulls the client name from the very first entry. So let's say Brandy was the first one, and then we go down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we go back to our invoice sheet, it's now got Brandy at the top. Delete those. Okay, then in order to send the invoice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have to select the area that I want to send, and then do edit, export as PDF. Before I do that, I want to make sure that I am sending the right entries. So I'm going to go to my current clients folder. I'm going to find Lee Luxford. HIJK. Now I'm going to look through those invoices, see when is the last one. The last invoice was August 30th. I'm going to open that up. Tuesday, August 28th was the last time it was billed. Okay? So now I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet, go to select, find August 38th, or August 28th, Lee Luxford. That's the last one that was billed. So now I can go through and make sure that I get everything from Lee Luxford. Looks like I did. I got 7. This one is spelled wrong, but it'll be spelled right on the invoice because it'll automatically change. Okay, so there's my invoice. I'm going to select that. I'm going to go export as PDF. And I'm going to export the selection, so I have to click here. Click on export. I'm going to save that to Lee's folder. I'm going to change the date to reflect today's date, which is December the 10th. December is the 12th month, and we're the 10th day. Save. There it is. So that's the invoice that she's going to get. Next, I'm going to send that invoice as an attachment by email. I hope you understood that. Good luck. In order to email the invoice, I compose a new message, put in the name of the recipient, and I have a canned response saved. So down here, I go to canned responses. Pardon me. Choose invoice. And then all I have to do is attach that PDF file that we exported from the spreadsheet. There it is. Okay, so I've just sent an invoice. Next thing for my accounting that I want to do is open my accounting program. I use GNU Cash. This particular invoice was to Lee Luxford for $411.44. So we're just waiting for GNU Cash to load. Okay, so in GNU Cash, go to Business, Customer, New Invoice. Then I'm going to look for Lee Luxford. I click Select to choose a job. In this case it's maintenance. Okay. Now I'm going to put in the quantity, which is 1. The price for this invoice is $411.44. The income account, this is going to be self-employment income. These are expenses, so I want income. Income, self-employment, labor, maintenance. Okay, and I'm going to post this invoice. Done.